Alright everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and it looks like we have entered the phase of the culture war where people that keep pushing all this DEI-ridden garbage out to us are starting to beg us to give their products a chance because nobody's buying it anymore. Reviews are tanking, sales are in the crapper, and everything's just horrible for them. So let's cue the music and we'll talk about this a little bit. All right, so we're getting we're still in our lane with video games here because this is about Borderlands. It's about the film, it's kind of a little adjacent too, but we're going to get more and more into culture in different ways as we progress through here. But Take-Two Interactive CEO response to negative reviews for Borderlands. Give the film a chance. The look and feel is really terrific. Okay. I, for one, was never a big Borderlands fan. I played some of it, the first two, I think it was. Yeah, the first two. And they're okay, they're fun games and all that. They're quirky and all. Not my style. I'll tell you that right now. I don't like the art style very much and all that. But the gameplay was cool. I'll give it that. It just wasn't my style as far as art goes. When I saw the movie, the first trailer for it, I was kind of floored. I'm like, hey, Jamie Lee Curtis? Kate Blanchett, come on, man, what's going on here? Kevin, it looked really bad. It looked really cringe, and it had zero appeal to me. So even if I was a fan of the game, I probably would have been less inclined to see it. I didn't see this movie. I've kind of sworn off going to the theater for a while until these studios start giving me something that actually interests me. Anytime I see a trailer now, I can instantly pick it apart and be like, nah, that looks like trash because of this, this, and this. I said it when I first saw this. I said it when the Madam Web thing came out. I'm saying it with pretty much everything that comes out. It just looks like trash. And it's kind of sad. But, yeah. So, the reviews were abysmal for this. Let's go ahead to Metacritic right now. Take a look at it. 27. Okay, 27 from the critics. 2.8 from the fans. It's very rare that these two things line up. Oh, look, they're advertising. What is that? Concord, that piece of crap game. Very rarely do those two scores line up. Usually, if the critics love it, it's woke garbage. That everybody and the user score is going to be bad. But if the user score is high, it usually means it's a really good movie. It just doesn't have any woke garbage. When both scores are low, you have plumbed the depths of the movie industry, I guess. Screen Rant gave it a 70. Blanchett knows exactly what movie she's in. She seems to be having the time of her life, fitting herself into the mold of a video game heroine. There's spoilers there. Little emotional sustenance to keep you going. Dud CGI. You can see the jokes. Most of them don't land. Neat design work if you squint. It's not as bad as other reviews make it look. I preferred the first half. The second one seemed boring, but, it's not pure trash as fanboys say. Well, maybe fanboys know what they're talking about. I don't know. Again, it's not something. RogerEbert.com. Nothing that works about games has been adapted intact and is ugly, boring, truly inept piece of filmmaking. A movie that was mostly shot years ago and should have been shelved even longer, like maybe forever. Is he still around? Man, it sounds like I know he's passed away. But a review made it sound like he was still around, but yeah. Terrible, right? Generally unfavorable. Is it still 27? Yeah, it's still 27. One positive review. So anyway, the highest score on Metacritic is from Tatiana Hulander at Screen Rant, who gave the film a 70. She wrote, the overall experience is a fun one, and I, for one, would welcome another big screen trip to Pandora. The next highest rated score is from Taylor Gates at Collider, who gave the film a 50. She wrote, notice both of these are she's, Borderlands is a fun ride, but a bloated cast and breakneck pacing don't allow it to reach its full potential. And another she also gave the film a 50. She said, Borderlands is one-of-a-kind movie that's the hardest to get excited about. The kind that lands in the middle space between a project with its own strong identity and a compromised adaptation, trying to play to the masses. It's tough to live in the Borderlands. Okay. So the top three ratings are all females. It is a female-led movie from the looks of things and the way they've marketed it. with Jamie Lee Curtis and Cate Blanchett being, at the forward part of the thing. You got Jack Black playing a box. I forget what the robot's name is. On the other end of the spectrum, Juan Barquin at Little White Lies gave the film a 20. He wrote, "There is no joy to be found in the way that Roth parades out his actors in bad cosplay of characters from the series and strips them of any humanity." Bilge Abiri gives the film a 20 of Vulture. He wrote, "The film feels like it's been shredded to bits, stripped clean of personality and character incoherence, presumably in an effort to get it short enough to sneak in some additional screening times." And Johnny Oleksinski gave the film a 0 at New York Post. He said, "Unfortunately for the time being, the star of Tar and Blue Jasmine is stuck as the lead of the worst movie of the year, a grueling 102-minute endurance test that's as lifeless as the video game it's based on." Here's our director, Eli Roth, who's done quite a few films. He's done Cabin Fever, Hostel. I think he did Hostel 2 as well. Knock Knock, The Green Inferno. He's mostly known for horror films, for the most part. He did play a small role in Quentin Tarantino's, what was it, the Nazi one, Inglourious Bastards. He's been around this industry for a while. Personally, I like Eli Roth. I like his films for the most part. Yeah, they're not great. They're kind of schlocky, messy horror films. They call back to a bygone era of the I would say maybe the 80s. For the most part, with the way they're presented. And that's not an insult. I like it. That's his style. He's great. He's one of those, I put him in there with Richard Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino, Rob Zombie. These guys all have this flair to them that they're all they're all unique, but they all kind of fit in this weird way with each other, where you could say they would work well with each other. And they have collaborated and worked well with each other in the past. At least some of them. I don't think Zombie's done much with the rest of these guys, but I know Rodriguez and Eli Roth, I think, made trailers for that double feature Tarantino film. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it was 2 films. One led by Tarantino and I think the other was led by Richard Rodriguez. That's where we saw The Machete. Anyway, moving on. Zelnick reacted to these and other poor reviews, telling IGN, "Let's give the film a chance. A lot of people worked really hard on it. The underlying intellectual property is phenomenal. The cast is amazing. I think the look and feel is really terrific. So let's see what the audience has to say." He also shared that the film's box office fate would not affect the franchise. But to answer your question, no, the performance of the film will not have a financial impact on us or the franchise one way or another. As for audience reactions, those are pretty bad too. On Rotten Tomatoes, the verified audience score currently sits at 51% with an average of 3.2 out of 5. The all audience score sits at 32% with an average rating of 2.2 out of 5. On IMDb, the film has a 4.4 out of 10 from over 2,300 reviews. The unweighted mean sits at 4.2 out of 10. Nearly 30% of the reviews are 1 out of 10. Wow. Wow. Look at that. You got a small group with 10 out of 10. I always find that funny, right? A movie that's pretty much universally crappy according to everyone. These are disingenuous. These probably too. You're probably at a 7 at the best if you're really forgiving for a movie that's abysmal. But again, opinions are subjective. Well, how you see a movie is how you see a movie. It might do things that you enjoy immensely. I have movies I like that aren't very well received overall. It happens from time to time, and it vibes with you in one way or another. It touches something that you dig, and that's cool, right? So, Sean Robbins at Box Office Theory predicts the film will only gross between 8 and 13 million on its opening weekend. However, he notes the traditional industry tracking predicts the film will gross 15 million. The film's production budget is reportedly 120 million, according to Matt Baloney at Puck. That means the film needs to gross at least 300 million to break even. Given it's only tracking for 15 million at the most, the film is likely already a financial disaster for Lionsgate. Wow. What do you make of Zelnick's comments there? That's oof. So, personally, again, I had no interest in seeing this film in the first place. I'm not a Borderlands fan. If I was a big Borderlands fan, I just think the casting is what really turned me off. It harkens back to the game, in the style and the pacing of the trailer and all that kind of gave me vibes of the game, right? But again, I was never a big fan of it. But yeah, overall, it just feels like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's like super woke garbage or anything like that, although it probably is in there, but they didn't give you any of those vibes in the trailer. There was none of that kind of nonsense. I don't know why it's so bad, other than it's just a bad film. And like I said, Eli Roth, brother, I love you to death, man. I love your work for the most part. You've had some stinkers out there and all that, but I dig your style, you know what I mean? And maybe I should give it a go because of that, but I don't think I will. I'm really just completely uninspired with anything and everything Hollywood's putting out lately. Maybe he wasn't a fan of the game enough, or wasn't true enough to the game to hit those marks that make people want to see it, I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I just find it funny that, here we are with another apology, or not an apology, but another begging of I think this was a producer this time. Please give it a chance. That's what they were saying about the new Silent Hill movie. Just give it a chance when it comes out, and yada yada. Once bad, we live in a time when information is shared so quickly that something can be dead on arrival, right? Like before, 20, 30 years ago, before the internet and the advent of social media and all that kind of stuff, a movie would come out. You'd see it advertised, while you're watching TV during the week with your family. Coming soon, this movie. Like, oh, that's pretty cool. Or you'd see it when you went to the cinema and you watched a movie. See a trailer. Hey, coming soon down the road. Oh, that looks good. We have to remember that movie. That's coming in August. August comes. All of a sudden you start seeing it on TV. You're like, yeah, there it is. Let's go see it. Starts Friday. You get, so that Friday. Well, let's go this Friday. So everybody piles into the car on Friday and the family goes and watches the movie and it sucks. You're like, oh man, that was bad. That was a waste. That was, oh God, whatever. Everybody's disappointed. In this day and age, with everything being available online ahead of time and the behind the scenes stuff and the leaks and the early access to these things, you get these reviews sometimes out early that depending on when the embargo is on reviews. So let's go see that Friday, and then Thursday the embargo is lifted and the reviews come out. And you're like, whoa. This sounds like a piece of crap. We're not going to... Let's do something else this Friday. Maybe we'll watch that when it comes on streaming later on. Maybe not. I don't know. So, companies have got to step up their game. You can't keep releasing mediocre or below average garbage to your audiences. They're tired of it. They're tired of spending their money on it. Things are tough right now. The economy is in the toilet, and people don't have a lot of money to spend on extras. And video games, movies, all that kind of stuff, those are extras. Streaming services, those are extras right now. You don't need them to survive. You may think you do, but you don't, right? So you have to cut the costs in places. That's where you're going to cut the costs. If the movie doesn't look like it's going to be worth your money, and movies are expensive now, going to the movies, just two people, holy crap. Yeah, I remember back in the day, you could go in there on $20 and, get in and get a drink and share a popcorn and you're good to go, right? Not anymore, man. It's a freaking... You almost need to take a mortgage out on your house. But anyways, let me know what you think of the video down below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.